Good Monday evening, everyone. Sir Owen Disney here, and we're going to talk a little Monday Night Raw. And I'll say right now, off the top, real quick, that plans changed a little bit tonight. Ben was supposed to be over, but circumstances prevented that from happening, so there will not be any Ben content this week. Hopefully we can get at least one video from him next week before I leave, since I leave on Thursday. As of this moment, it just seems like you're going to get a lot of me this next 2 weeks, and then a whole lot of me until the beginning of October. Because, with the exception of a couple verses, I'm going to be the only thing you're going to see on this channel for the next several weeks. Because, obviously, as of 10 days from today, I leave for Orlando. So it's my normal birthday trip to Walt Disney World, and I'm very much looking forward to it. But, yeah, I don't want to talk housekeeping right now. I just want to go into Raw because we just got done with an amazing show live from the T-Dot. That's right, Toronto, Ontario, Canada. And that was the site of tonight's Raw event. So, let's get to it. We started off the show with the Cutting Edge, which is the first time we've seen the Cutting Edge in a long time. Edge makes his way to the ring. He says, "Every time I come out here, you remind me that this is home. It's been way too long, but I want to welcome you all to the Cutting Edge." See, I was requested by Triple H to come out because it would be good for business. I was supposed to come out here for a reunion. Not with Christian. That makes too much sense. But with my former Rated RKO partner, the face of the WWE champion, Randy Orton. But, you know, he's about as interesting as watching paint dry, and about as much fun to listen to as watching paint dry. He really has nothing interesting to say whatsoever. You know, I don't have a problem with him cashing in, because, you know, I wrote the blueprint on how to cash in Money in the Bank properly. But I simply just say that now Randy Orton has become simply a corporate puppet. He's Triple H's lackey, and he needs the Shield to fight his battles for him. So, Randy Orton's not going to be my guest. My guest is going to be the man who is going to challenge him this Sunday for the WWE Championship at Night of Champions, Daniel Bryan. So Daniel Bryan comes out, he says, "I've been through a lot, but you know it helps when so many people chant my name. There's a satisfaction in this struggle. I will beat Randy Orton at Night of Champions, regain the championship, and I will be WWE Champion yet again. Obstacles are my inspiration." Edge says, "We love this, both of us do. We wanted to do this ever since we were kids. You deserve a fair shot at the championship. Can you beat Randy Orton? I don't know, but at least you deserve that fair shot. Do you think you can beat Randy Orton? Yes. You just shove it in the man's face? Yes. You think you're the face of the WWE? Randy Orton's music hits, and Randy Orton comes out. What a shame. Canada is the only place that gives a crap about you. Your body fails you at a young age. It's a shame you're supposed to be the face. I may have problems with my spine, but at least I have one, Randy. You've become simply Triple H's puppet. He sucks at picking talent and seeing what talent truly is." So Triple H, of course, comes out. Says, "I don't have to bite my tongue." This is Edge still. "I'm not employed here. You didn't think me, or Chris Jericho, or even a Vanilla Ice wannabe like John Cena could make it. Your nose may be huge, but sometimes you have to look past it." So Triple H, of course, cuts him off with a rebuttal. He says, "It's great to see you come out here to promote Haven," which, of course, is on Friday night after SmackDown on the Sci-Fi Network. "Now that promotional consideration is paid for, I'm going to give you my rebuttal. I'll give you about Chris Jericho. And I was dead wrong about John Cena. And you know, maybe I will be proven wrong about Daniel Bryan. Only time will tell. But you know who I was right about? I was right about you, Edge. At the end of the day, the reality is the Rated R superstar was an abject failure. You never do a dime, buddy. Daniel Bryan has the opportunity to prove me wrong. And he's going to get that opportunity tonight against the United States champion, Dean Ambrose. Since Ambrose, of course, will have the Shield in his corner, I'm going to give Daniel Bryan someone in his corner. So the crowd, of course, are chanting for Edge and Christian, and random people was like, no, Triple H has to stop them, and says something to the extent of, that's not going to happen. No doctor would ever clear you in a million years anyway, so you know, that stack of dimes you call a neck. So, yeah, Daniel Bryan will have someone in his corner, and that someone will be the Big Show. See, contrary to popular belief, I'm not a bad guy. I'm not even a dictator. And Edge goes, Hunter, unlike you, I didn't marry into my success. I earned this Hall of Fame ring. Hunter, you're not a dictator. You're just a dick. So Triple H says, I can hurt you. But I can't hurt you personally, physically, because no one can touch you. Oh no, but I can hurt the ones you love. So they drag Christian's body out, and they leave him at the top of the ramp, and then they scatter. Edge calls for help, and that's the end of the segment. Good return to WWE for Edge, even though it was a one-night only at Raw. Of course, he'll be at SmackDown taping tomorrow. But it was nice to see Edge return, and nice to see the Cutting Edge return. Nice to see someone from a storyline perspective that can talk down Triple H, doesn't care about repercussions, but in the long run, he's the one who ends up getting egg all over his face because his best friend Christian is led to slaughter by the Shield. So, we come back from commercial, and Edge gets up in Triple H's face, but of course the Shield stop him because they are the errand boys of what's best for business. If doctors would clear me, I'd just go after you right now. So Triple H is like, what do you think? You're going to walk in here? Toronto is my town, my city, and you need to get off my show. So he threatens him, and Edge looks at him and is like, what happened to you? And he's like, if you don't leave this property, you can be escorted out. And that's the end of the segment. So our first wrestling match of the evening is going to be a rematch of Friday Night SmackDown's contest, another non-title match between the Intercontinental Champion Curtis Axel taking on Kofi Kingston. We're going to midway through the match like we do here on Pop. 2 double chops, standing drop kick, goes for the leaping clothesline, Axel ducks out of the way, boot in the midsection, whip in, charges in, caught a boot up, goes for the SOS, 1-2, Axel grabs the bottom rope right at 3. Axel smartly goes to the floor to regroup, so he gives chase, Kofi chases him back in, and he stomps him right in the face and stomps him in the corner. So, repeated knees to the back of the head while Kofi is scrunched face and chest into the buckle, and the referee just has enough and calls for the disqualification. So, Kofi wins by DQ. Heyman gets up in Axel's face, and of course Heyman's seen better days. He's got 500 o'clock shadow. Obviously, he hasn't slept in quite a while. And when it comes down to it, Heyman's like, what are you doing? This can't happen on Sunday. He's like, you're right, it's not going to happen Sunday. So he picks up Kofi, and he tries to get the upper hand. Kofi punches out of it, and ends up nailing Trouble in Paradise on Curtis Axel, leaving the Intercontinental Champion leg. Okay. What this does is sets up Kofi and Axel for the Intercontinental Championship after Night of Champions. Unless they do it on SmackDown tomorrow/Friday night. It kind of depends if they're going to do that. I think they'll wait until Raw after Night of Champions, and then you'll have Axel drop the title because Axel won't have Paul Heyman, because Heyman's going to get obliterated by CM Punk on Sunday. The only way that I can see Axel and Heyman winning on Sunday is if we introduce a new Paul Heyman guy. And I'm not sure who would be at this point. An NXT guy comes to mind, but I mean, I don't know who at this point. So yeah, that's the only way I can see that happening, because Brock Lesnar is not going to show up, so I think this ends on Sunday. I think Punk obliterates Curtis Axel, beats him, and then he just destroys Paul Heyman, and Axel is by himself defending the title against Kofi on Raw Monday night, and Kofi takes the championship, and of course he'll drop it to Fandango, because that's how it should have been in the first place, before Fandango got his concussion. So we see a puddle of water in the hallway, and Paul Heyman is being helped up by a trainer and Curtis Axel. So they drag him to the trainer room, and he said, "There's water in the hallway. I just slipped." And, of course, Dr. Sampson shows up. Not Jock Sampson. Dr. Sampson with a P. My boy Jock has a no P. So, basically, contrary to what some places say, Paul Heyman has his own doctor. He doesn't need to be checked over by a WWE official, Dr. Sampson. So, they just decide to just ice his knee in the meantime. So we get Booker T. He shows up to talk to the Big Show, and Booker has been a very outspoken company guy, to say the least. He says, "Don't be a I'm going to paraphrase here. He said, "Don't be a hero. Think about your family. The consequences if you do get involved tonight. Don't let your pride make a mistake you cannot take back." The Big Show's like, "Pride's all I got left," and that's the end of the segment. Again, Booker T, who was a strong babyface at one point, now is pretty much kind of on the heelish level as much as you can be for not really being anything. Not a GM anymore, not an active competitor, not a manager, not anything. He just kind of shows up periodically because the Big Show and Booker T have a lot of back history, given the fact that when the Big Show debuted in WCW, there was a when he debuted at Halloween Havoc against the Big Show against Hulk Hogan, obviously. He came out, they did the Son of Andre deal. Well, at this point, Booker T was teaming with his brother Stevie Ray, or his storyline brother Stevie Ray as Harlem Heat. So they both were on the same card together, and of course they had a lot of time in WCW and a lot of time in the NWO, facing off against each other and teaming with each other when the NWO Poison was brought back to the WWE in the early 2000s. So, we get our next match of the evening, and I enjoyed this. It's Dolph Ziggler against Bray Wyatt. So, we go through the match, and this actually is Bray against Dolph. I thought it might end up being Harper against Dolph, and Bray would just sit in the rocking chair and come in at the end. But no, it actually was Bray against Dolph, so yeah. Dolph caught off the ropes, the big scoop slam. Bray hangs upside down, and he charges in, and he gets caught with a standing drop kick. Rowan gets on the apron, he gets knocked off. So Dolph gets hit with a Fall of Humanity, which is that crossbody off the ropes, and he tosses him to the floor. Bray goes out, a knee in the midsection, toss him back in, 1-2, and a kick out. So chinlock, and Dolph punches his way out. High velocity whip into the buckle. Bray catches him with a gut shot, a back elbow, and another one, and back to the chinlock. Dolph elbows out of it again, comes off the ropes. Dolph gets mowed over with a back elbow. So he nails a falling headbutt. He locks in a chinlock with a knee firmly planted in the lower back. So Dolph counters with a jawbreaker to break out of it. He charges in with the avalanche. He misses, hits the buckle, and Dolph nails him with a big splash in the corner. Goes for the 10 punch. Reverse neck breaker. Leaping elbow. 1 count only. So we whip in, reverse, boot in the midsection, backdrop, goes for it. Dolph floats over, lands on his feet, nails the name dropper, 1-2, and a kick out. So Harper gets on the ring apron, and he gets knocked off. Rowan goes to swat at the legs, and Dolph leaps over it. That's a distraction long enough for Bray to come in like a locomotive and land the avalanche in the corner. Dolph gets danced with momentarily, kiss of death, Sister Abigail, and Bray Wyatt wins. So yeah, interesting match. Interesting commercial break during the match too. It actually happened during a little bit of offense from Bray, and I'm not exactly sure why. I mean, there's a lot of weird finishes, a lot of weird situations tonight in the show. So this segment is one of my favorites, and I enjoy this. So Curtis Axel comes out with Paul Heyman, and somebody that looks rather familiar. Yes, the man accompanying Paul Heyman and Curtis Axel to the ring is none other than one half of one of the best unsigned tag teams in the wrestling business today, the Flatliners. That's right, it was Asylum. Asylum comes out and we don't know what he's here for, but we're guessing he is the doctor of Paul Heyman, and quickly we find out that Paul Heyman is injured, and he's been consulted by his doctor, which is Michael Kirschenbaum from New York. Two things wrong with this. Number one, there's actually a real Michael Kirschenbaum, and he's really a doctor, folks. His name is actually J. Michael Kirschenbaum, and he is actually from, I gotta read, make sure I get this right. I can't read my own writing, it's too small. He's from New Jersey, folks. He's not from New York, so, kind of. And we're just gonna call him Asylum from now on. So Brad Maddox comes out with Doc Samson, and he tries to stop him. He basically says, if you are truly injured, the only person that can remove you from this match is to be examined by our doctor, Doc Samson. So the doctor examines him, and he comes up with absolutely nothing. CM Punk comes out with Singapore Cane. Curtis Axel comes to Heyman's aid, and Axel takes his head off. Heyman runs for the hills, and Asylum eats a cane shot. So Punk is in the driver's seat, and he canes Asylum repeatedly, and then he canes him in the top of the head, and then basically just canes the daylights out of Asylum and leaves him laying. So, basically, it was really cool to see Asylum on Raw tonight, to be totally honest, since I'm such a Flatliners fan. Big night for the O Show tonight, to be totally honest, if you really think about it, because you have this segment, which of course is Asylum, working with CM Punk. Even though it wasn't a wrestling match, he still had FaceTime with CM Punk. And then the next couple segments later, you've got the return of Santino Marella, who looks like he's going to be a guest on the O Show on this week. So, yeah. The former Johnny Giabasco returns to the O Show this week. I thought that was pretty obvious, based upon the clue that Big Daddy Donnie put out on Facebook. Our next match is Total Divas versus the WWE Divas. So it is Brie Bella, Naomi, and Natalya Neidhart taking on Oksana, Alicia Fox, and Layla. Wow. AJ really could have found a lot better group than this. Even NXT Diva group would have been better than that. Actually, the NXT Diva group I'd much rather see, because I like all those ladies. So AJ's on commentary, and before I get to the match, actually, which was okay, caught a couple botches here and there. AJ was the star on commentary. She got a really nice zinger on Jerry Lawler today. She says she's 26. Isn't she a little too old for him? Don't you like him young, Jerry? I was like, oh. And she basically says, don't you even watch the show? I've been main eventing all year. And I was like, oh. So yeah, AJ's amazing and gorgeous. So I like her run as Divas champion. Gonna be interesting to see what happens after Sunday. So we'll go to the match as much as I can. This is a cluster, to say the least. And Naomi whips Oksana in. She nails her with a rear view. And she goes for a spinning back kick. Goes up top. Oksana pulls the leg, and she gets crotched on the top momentarily. Tagging to Layla, she comes off the ropes, and she nails a front drop kick, 1-2, and a kick out. So goes for a leg drop, she misses. Tagging Alicia Fox, and tagging to Natty. Natty with snap suplex, two big clotheslines, whip in, caught the boot, spinning slam. Oksana goes for a splash, and she ends up splashing Alicia Fox because Natty's out of the way. So Fox gets tossed to the floor. She nails her with a discus clothesline, locks on the sharpshooter, and the tap out. So yeah. So this way you've built momentum for Natty for Sunday and Night of Champions. Is AJ going to retain? I think it's probably a good bet. The only way I see this not ending with AJ retaining is if they put the title on Natty, which I wouldn't mind happening. But the way the storyline's going right now, you can't really do that. You have to have AJ as the champion, and I really think AJ continues to be champion for the better part of the rest of the year. I don't know if she's still champion by Survivor Series, but I think that there's a good chance. Even though Survivor Series would probably end up being like 8-women tag match with Total Divas against the WWE Divas. So, yeah, but AJ, get better, people. Because Oksana sucks. Alicia Fox is not very good. And Layla, she's okay. I don't mind Layla. She's alright. So yeah, get better people. Like, this is the time to bring up like actual good workers like Bailey or Emma or Paige. I'd much rather see them involved in this than 3 divas in WWE I do not care about whatsoever. So we get our next match of the evening. World Heavyweight Champion Alberto Del Rio taking on R-Truth. This match was kind of disjointed, to say the least. We'll go with, just talk about the match. So whip in and ducks the kick to the face. Excuse me. Ducks the clothesline. Truth clotheslines him over the top rope to the floor. Pescado and Del Rio toss him back in, and he gets up on the apron. Del Rio steps up, insecurity kick, knocks Truth back off the apron to the floor. Toss him back in, only a 1 count. Referee out of position momentarily. Chinlock, Truth punches his way out, comes off the rope, sunset flip, 1-2, and a kick out. Del Rio stops momentum with the clothesline. Double boot stomp to the upper back, 1-2, and a kick out. So he locks on the chin lock. Again, Truth punches his way out. Gets caught with a knee, repeated headbutts, comes off the ropes, gets nailed with a leg lariat, and clothesline, hat rack crack, which is the seated front suplex, and a thing Jeff Hardy does all the time now. 1-2, and a kick out. Goes for the axe kick. He moves out of the way. Del Rio with a tilt-a-whirl slam, and plants him with a GSK, locks on the cross arm breaker, and Truth taps. So yeah. It was interesting. I know there are a lot of rumors about Truth and Big Show against The Shield coming up at Night of Champions. I think that's pretty much been silenced because there is going to be a free-for-all. That's right, there's going to be a Night of Champions kickoff match. Tag Team Turmoil, which is a 5-team, which should be a 6-team, elimination tag match with 3-man band, the Usos, Tons of Funk, Zev's Militia, and the Primetime Players. Why Harper and Rowan are not in this match is beyond me. I don't know why they're not in this match. Either way, we're getting the Primetime Players against the Shield at Night of Champions. I honestly think, given the beating that Dolph took tonight, and given the Primetime Players, probably what's going to end up happening to them on SmackDown, if I had to guess. I think that the Shield are losing their championships before the year is over. As a matter of fact, I think the Shield, either Ambrose loses the U.S. title to Ziggler, or the Primetime Players beat Rollins and Reigns. One of those will happen at Night of Champions. And even though I'm a big Dolph Ziggler fan, don't think that's going to be him winning that championship, or winning back that championship. I think that the Primetime Players somehow, someway are going to beat the Shield for the WWE Tag Team Championships. And I have a problem with that, because you're playing up, obviously, a lot of buzz around both Darren Young and Titus O'Neil right now. In our next match, it was another enjoyable contest. Excuse me. Probably should have got something to drink before I started this. Anyway, Antonio Cesaro's out, and he's going to face off against someone. We don't know who it is. Immediately I'm thinking, he did house shows over the weekend. He's obviously from Montreal, which, I mean, he's in Canada. It's far away from Toronto, but I mean, it's not undrivable. So, why the heck not? I was thinking, maybe this might be the night you see Sami Zayn debut. And I was thinking, no, I know what they're going to do. I know exactly what they're going to do. Because there were some rumors earlier today that Santino Marella was going to be returning to the ring. Well, Santino Marella was the opponent of Cesaro. This match was actually really good too. So right away, Santino gets nailed with a draw kick by Cesaro. He nails a Swiss uppercut, deadlift, gut wrench, and the double leg, and then the giant swing. And oh my god, the fans were chanting just stupid stuff. They were chanting for the announcers. They were chanting for wrestlers. And this just stopped it dead in its tracks. So the giant swing was probably at least a couple minutes long. And kudos to Cesaro for that. And he just rained down the forearms once he drops it. Boot in the chest. He ducks the clothesline. Does Santino. Does the split to duck out of it. Into the Beal off the ropes. The falling headbutt. Goes for the Cobra. And basically he kicks him off. Swiss uppercut. 1, 2, and a kick out. So he takes the Cobra off the hand of Santino. Tosses it away. Nails a side belly-to-belly throw, 1, 2, and a kick out. Charging Swiss uppercut in the corner, 1, 2, and Santino again kicks out. Santino catches him with a judo throw, hooks the leg, 1, 2, 3. What a good match, actually. Very enjoyable contest between these two that actually really can go. For those of you that have not seen anything Santino's done other than the WWE stuff, you don't know his potential. It's kind of like how most people that have seen... sorry, it's driving me insane. Haven't seen Hotshot Johnny Devine except for in TNA. You don't know exactly what he's capable of either. So yeah, it's kind of the same situation. So to be totally honest, that was pretty cool. So, we got our next match of the evening. Since we're in Toronto, we're in Canada, so obviously that means the heels get cheered. Damien Sandow comes out, Mr. Money in the Bank, taking on The Miz. And The Miz got a quite loud heel reaction tonight. Miz was kind of like, whatever. So, whip in reverse, he charges in, and the Miz line in the corner, he goes up top for the crown. Crown Sandow, 1, 2, and a kick out. Comes off the ropes, ducks the kick that broke Fandango's nose, drop toe hold in the middle rope, and the dive bomb to the back, 1, 2, and a kick out. So, stomps away, 4 well-placed knee strikes, side California leg sweep, Kobito, Akiet, and 1, 2, and a kick out. Locks in a chin lock. Does Sandow. Miz elbows out of it. Charges in. Gets the elbow up. And the flying forearm off the ropes. The high knee lift. The Yakuza kick. And then he sits the leg up in the corner. And he kicks the leg. Front drop kick to the leg off the ropes. And Fandango's music hits. And Fandango shows up to a huge pop from the Toronto crowd. Dancing with the gorgeous Summer Rae. And this allows Sandow to roll him up from behind. Hook the tights. 1, 2, 3. And then after the match, Fandango, as Summer Rae gets down in the splits, just yells out, "It's Fandango!" And the music hits, and like, oh my god. Fandango was over like Rover tonight, to be totally honest, and he finishes his dance with Summer Rae, and that's the end of the segment. Continuing this continuing this program between The Miz and Fandango. And I don't have a problem with that, because that means that Fandango eventually is going to lead towards that Intercontinental title reign that I've been talking about. So, yeah, there's always that. Fandango going babyface, I think it might happen sooner rather than later. I think what you do, honestly, since the crowd, and this is funny with me wearing a Miz shirt, the funny thing is what I would do at this point, I would do a double turn. I turned Fandango and Summer Rae babyface, and then turn the Miz heel. Because Miz is a more genuine heel, and he still acts like a heel, but he's a babyface, so yeah. Continue that, and it would be fine. Turn Fandango babyface, and the crowd can get behind him, and that's what you do. It's a good idea. So, we're almost done with the show. Goldust shows up, talking to Renee Young in the back, and says, "I've been the screw-up of the family. I've messed up all my chances in the WWE. Triple H is just throwing his weight around, embarrassing the Rhodes name. Orton, at the end of the night, you will never forget the name of..." Triple H stops him. Dustin Rhodes. Cuts him off. He says, "You know what, you have a lot of pressure on you tonight. Good luck. I hope you don't let them down." So our next match of the evening is Randy Orton against Goldust, and the pre-match stipulation that was made on Twitter, actually, a couple days ago, state that if Goldust wins, Cody is reinstated, and if Randy Orton wins, Cody is still gone. So we go to the match here. Whip in, charges in, boot up, and whip in, catches the boot, and a whip in reverse, back elbow. Orton goes to the floor to regroup. So Orton comes in, St. Louis uppercut, 1-2, and a kick out. Whip in, and he telegraphs Orton's drop kick. Jackknife cover by Rhodes, 1-2, and a kick out. So chops in the corner, and a thumb to the eye on Orton. 10 punch, whips, goes for the snap power slam, but he stops him and rolls him up 1-2 and a kick out. Goes for Shattered Dreams in the corner, and Orton rolls out, breaking that momentum. So basically, he rolls back out again, breaking momentum again. He jaws with the ref, Goldust with the uppercut, and sends him into the barricade. Toss him back in, 1-2 and a kick out. So an elbow into a chin lock. Goldust elbows his way out. St. Louis uppercut once again from Randy Orton. Whip in, boot up, and Randy Orton goes to the floor. So Goldust gives chase, sends Orton's head into the ring steps, back rake, toss him back in at the 8 count, and Orton nails him with a neck snap across the top rope. Whip into the post, and Orton is out. Backdrop on the barricade like we always do. Roll back in, 1-2 and a kick out. His modified Garvin Stomp makes a cover, 1-2 and a kick out. Chinlock Orton is punched out of, again, knee up and whip in. Caught him off the ropes with the Rhodes Bulldog. Ducks the clothesline, clothesline, reverse the whip, drop down, Rhodes uppercut, 10 punch in the corner, and it's not the 9 and the kiss like would have been in the Attitude Era. It's just the 10 punch. Whip in, reverse, roll up, 1-2 and a kick out. Orton gets ready and momentum going for the snake bite. He nails it. Orton mocks Bryan with the yes, yes, yes. RKO countered into the crossroads. 1-2, and at 3, Orton kicks out. Nice, believable near fall there. Orton rolls him up 1-2 and a kick out. Ducks the swing. RKO 1-2-3. Goldust, your dream has been shattered. Just like Daniel Bryan taking the WWE title away from me at Night of Champions will be shattered. Great match. Goldust does still got it. Goldust entered the ring tonight about 240, and that is work weight about 20 pounds less than he weighed when he was the natural Dustin Rhodes back in WCW in the early 90s. Good match. Really energetic match between these two. I've really enjoyed the contest. Hope this gets Dustin a job somewhere down the road, honestly. I don't care if he's a road agent. I didn't mean to say that. I guess he'd be a Rhodes agent. I don't know how many people have made that joke, but I'm sure I am the 50 millionth that has. So, yeah, Goldust needs to be working for WWE again. I mean, this proves he can still go in the ring. You can have him occasionally wrestle. I wouldn't have a problem with that. I still think Goldust, Dusty, and Cody teaming up against the Best Thing for Business, Daniel Bryan, and The Big Show, most likely. Could be. I think that could happen. It's anything possible. So, yeah, Randy Orton is stopping any chance of Cody getting his job back, at least for the time being, so Cody can enjoy his honeymoon properly. So, I didn't write this down, but Stephanie shows up and basically belittles Dustin and says you let everybody down, and ends it with tell your dad I said hi. You can join your brother on the unemployment line. So, yeah, that's the end of that segment. So, our next match, our semi-main event of the evening, is the Battle of the Same Singlet Designer. That's right, it's going to be Rob Van Dam taking on Ryback. So, whip in and an elbow. Ryback pounds away. Overhead release belly-to-belly suplex. The most awkward abdominal stretch ever locked on in the history of wrestling. It just, ever since, I'm going to reference the movie Kayfabe here. Honestly, that's the last time I've seen an abdominal stretch awkward as the one we had on Raw tonight. So, I even wrote in the notes, and actually, I pulled a Garth, I'm like, ab stretch, I guess. So, Van Dam breaks it with the elbow to the knee, and kicks Ryback right in the face, charges in, gets the boot up, flying body press, Ryback catches him, lands on his feet, goes for a kick, steps over, spin kick, rolling thunder, 1 count only, and a wheel kick in the corner on Ryback, goes up top, somersault, 1-2, and a kick out. Goes up top, standing side kick, and he goes up top again for the 5-star. Ryback rolls to the floor, stops momentum. So Van Dam changes his trajectory and he dives off. Ryback moves out of the way and Van Dam goes ribs first into the barricade. So he picks him up. Again, this is rather awkwardly. And the spot supposed to be to crotch him into the ring post calls for the immediate disqualification. Well, the first time it just didn't go off very well, and the camera angle was kind of out there, and it just didn't look good at all. So he does it again, the referee calls for the bell, and after the match is over, he tosses him back in the ring, shell shock one, and that's the end of that. This did nothing. Van Dam left laying, and Ryback still, no direction for the Ryback character. Unless you are really, truly building to this Ryback-Goldberg match at WrestleMania next year, I don't know the direction you're going with Ryback. Is he a hired gun for the best thing for business? I mean, could he be? I don't know. Maybe. It's anyone's guess. So, basically, Triple H and Stephanie make it known that the Big Show cannot interfere against the Shield tonight. As a matter of fact, he can't touch the Shield at all. If he does, he'll be terminated. That's what Stephanie says. He says, if you touch the Shield, you'll be terminated. You have to sit at ringside and watch this match. So they give him a regular folding chair, which is kind of funny to watch. Our main event is Dean Ambrose against Daniel Bryan, and I don't call him the MVP of the WWE for nothing, folks. This match is another great example why Daniel Bryan is the top superstar in the WWE, bar none. So the match with Seth Rollins that I was very happy to be able to call on SmackDown that I reviewed on Saturday. This match against Dean Ambrose was great as well. These are tremendous matches. So we'll go midway through the match. Bryan locks on the La Tapatia, which is the Mexican surfboard. Ambrose grabs the ropes before he has to tap out. Actually, right before Bryan can lock on the Dragon Sleeper, which is normally the La Tapatia and the Dragon Sleeper combo he likes to put on. So, boot in the midsection on Bryan, 3 shoulders in the midsection, whip in, backflip, ducks the clothesline, comes off, hooking clothesline, and half Nelson suplex, goes up top, and Rollins gets on the ring apron for a distraction, and Ambrose uses that time to nail a running forearm, sending Bryan off the apron into the barricade. So, a leg drop on the apron as he's laying precariously draped across the ring apron, rolls him back in, 1-2 and a kick out. Short arm clothesline from the U.S. champ, and the power drive elbow, 1-2 and a kick out. So, chin lock with a knee in the back. We've seen this 4 times in the last 2 recaps I've done. Interesting. Ambrose locks on a bow and arrow, and he gets countered in a pinfall attempt, 1-2 and a kick out. So, he chokes Bryan with his own arm, and he pulls the other arm over, in essence locking on the Halo choke from Sugar Shane Helms. So, high velocity whip into the buckle on 2 separate occasions. He goes for another one, whip in, charging, and he goes shoulder first in the ring post, buying Bryan some much needed time to rest. So he hits the charging drop kick into the corner, and then he does it again, and then he goes for the stiff kicks in the corner, puts him on the top turnbuckle, top rope, Hurricane Rana, and 1-2 and a kick out. So the yes kicks, goes for the buzzsaw, Dean ducks it, and double leg, goes for a Boston Crab, countered in a roll-up, 1-2 and a kick out. Goes for the yes lock, and Ambrose makes the ropes. Goes for the charging drop kick, and Bryan finds nothing but the back of his head hitting the canvas as hard as possible. Roll up with the tights, 1-2 and a kick out, so he sets on the chest of Bryan and pounds away with rights and lefts, puts him on the top turnbuckle, and a big chop climbs up. Bryan steps out of the way, crotches Ambrose, locks him into the Tree of Woe. There's the kicks, and he hit the charging drop kick right to the chest while he's upside down. So he goes up top with him. Belly-to-back superplex on the United States champion. 1-2 and a kick out. So there's the yes kicks again. And he charges in, sidestepped, and he goes to the floor. So Rollins basically stands there and watches Reigns get ready to attack. Reigns goes for a spear. He goes into the steps, so he's down and out. So Rollins dives off, and Bryan slips out of the way. And he goes chest first into his announce table. This allows Dean Ambrose to surprise him from behind with a clothesline to the back of the neck. He nails him with a DDT on the floor, rolls him back in, 1-2, and Bryan again kicks out. So he goes for an inside cradle. And I think I lost something. Hold on. Did I lose something? I think I might have. There it is. Alright. Sorry, I broke the momentum there by losing the rest of these nodes. I apologize. 1, 2, and 3. And Daniel Bryan wins, just like he beat Seth Rollins on SmackDown. He beats Dean Ambrose on Raw, and I'm going to have a feeling he'll probably beat Roman Reigns on SmackDown. But that's just what I'm believing at this point. So, Bryan tosses Ambrose into Rollins and Reigns, and Randy Orton runs out with the WWE Championship. Bryan nails him with a tope, and the Shield attack him. So the Big Show stands up with a steel chair like he's going to hit them, and then he drops it. Bryan's tossed into the ring, and Bryan gets nailed with the RKO. So Triple H and Stephanie come out and says, time to be a professional. Walk to the ring and knock him right out. So the Big Show gets in the ring. Orton gets up in his face. One too many times. Orton picks up Bryan. Show won't punch him out. So they jaw back and forth. He's like, don't test me, Randy. And this allows Bryan to reach his feet, and he nails Orton with the Basaiku knee and leaves the WWE Champion laying as the Big Show walks away with a smirk on his face as Bryan holds the WWE Championship high in the air, getting up in the face of the unconscious Randy Orton sitting in the middle of the ring. That's how you do a go-home show, folks. So, really enjoyable show. I gotta hand it to the crowd in Toronto. Other than the times when they got bored, they were really into the show, to be totally honest. They were into the segments they were into. They were really into the Wyatt family, really into Fandango, really into, well, really not into The Miz, really into Daniel Bryan, of course, and that's how he should be at this point. So yeah, enjoyable show, and a really good go-home show for Night of Champions. Of course, we still have SmackDown on, I will be recapping it on Saturday, of course. It'll be on Friday night, and that'll be with a new episode of NXT. We'll be talking about that. And, of course, wrestling fans can also join me again in about 3 days, when it will be officially 1 week from me going home again. It's going to be TNA No Surrender live on Spike TV at 8 o'clock on Thursday night, so that's going to be really entertaining to watch. Bully Ray and Mr. Ken Anderson for the TNA World Heavyweight Championship. Really enjoyable match. And, of course, we're going to get AJ Styles and Austin Aries and Bobby Roode and Magnus, and the two will face off in a match to determine who is going to win the Bound for Glory series and go on October 20th to face Bully Ray in San Diego, California for the TNA World Heavyweight Championship. If Bully Ray's still the champion, if I don't get a surprise and Anderson wins the championship, which I think could still happen. If you like these videos, tell your friends about them. Do leave a comment. Leave comments. Do subscribe. And you're more than welcome to help spread the word about Pop and the Popcaster Revolution. If you want to tweet me, sure, go right ahead. At Sir Owen Disney. Very simple, very easy to find. If you want to find me and friend me on Facebook, more than welcome to. Owen Disney. Very simple to find as well. Or if you want to send me an email of some sort, sirowendisney@gmail.com. So, like I said, we will talk wrestling again on Thursday. 2 videos to come, Tuesday and Wednesday. I don't know what they're going to be about yet. We'll cross that bridge when we get to it. Might be some Halloween Horror Nights news. Haven't quite decided yet. So, in the meantime, thank you out there for watching, and until tomorrow, boys and girls, that's all I gotta say about that.